Cuphead is by far one of the greatest games I've ever played. When I first bought the game back in October of 2017, yes, it's that old. To date it even further, at the time of its release, Fortnite wasn't even popular. It's honestly weird to think about. But back when I purchased the game, I said, this art style looks cool. Only $20? Sure, I'll try it. I like fighting bosses, it can't be that hard. I stopped playing after the first day. The game messed me up so bad that I didn't want anything more to do with it, until I began seeing more and more people playing the game, more and more people beating it, telling stories about their journeys, the bosses they struggled on, the ones that took them hours, the ones that almost broke their spirits, and I said, oh fuck it, let me get my money's worth. Before we start, something like 4% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if you want to join the 4%, then consider subscribing. Thanks. For this video, and this series going forward, I'll be looking at 5 categories of a game to rate it on, and then get the average final score. The categories are as follows: gameplay, art, music, replayability, and story. The gameplay in Cuphead is not exactly the most complex thing ever. It's literally just point in a direction and shoot, sometimes jump and dodge, then occasionally parry. The gameplay can be altered slightly by things like different shot types, supers, and charms that can help you defeat certain bosses with ease. I remember in my first playthrough being stuck on bosses like the Candyland Cake Girl because I didn't have the roundabout shot, which turns that boss fight from painful to painfully easy. But as anyone who played the game will know, the best shot in the game is the charge shot on any and every boss fight for the most part. The charge shot is better than every other shot in the game, and it isn't even close. Sometimes. You don't end up getting the charge shot till later in the game, so it can be argued that it's pretty balanced. It also does not make the game easy either. It just makes it easier than it would be with any other shot type. It kind of takes away from the mixing and matching of shot types because running charge shot is a no-brainer, which only leaves the player with one final slot. Another argument to be made with balancing is the charms. All charms in this game, besides Smoke Bomb, are terrible. Smoke Bomb is just so unbelievably more useful than every other charm in the game that it makes it a go-to for any playthrough. So, although the gameplay is supposed to encourage mix and match, create your own build, there's very clearly buyables that are better than others. Is this bad? It's hard to say. Some of you might argue that a lot of games with mix and match builds end up having overpowered items that everyone uses, and you're right. But does that mean all games should have unbalanced items? It's hard to say. Balancing things is a difficult task, and I think they did a pretty good job, all things considered. You don't need... the sugar's terrible.
Why?
It just makes it so the first thing you do, first pink is parried, but not all of them.
I only got a parry one. What are you doing?
Putting on my thing, you put on yours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? Of course, you could also just run basic shot and no charm and still beat the entire game. It just makes it much easier. The gameplay itself is very fun though. It's constantly changing, but it's still something that can be mastered. I myself went from struggling on my first playthrough to be able to defeat the frog boss to now being able to beat it first try flawless. This game does a great job at easing you into the gameplay and really molding you into the best player you can be. You start the game as a young game reviewer stuck on the tutorial, and by the end, you come out as a cup man fueled by testosterone and milk. It still blows my mind that a guy was not able to beat this part. Yeah, he's like, oh, how? I don't know how a game journalist just failed that. Now into the real meat and potatoes of the game, the bosses. For this video, I'm going to only talk briefly on the running gun levels, because they suck. The running gun levels are only useful for getting you coins, which ends up making them an almost necessity to play, but in my opinion, they're just not fun. The bosses really make this game what it is, and the only reason the developers added the running gun levels is because they didn't want reviewers to describe their game as just a boss rush, so they added some breaks from the action.
Oh, did you see that?
Oh my god! Ah!
You gotta parry those. Yep. Pre-firing.
Watch this guy. Spawn camping? Spawn camping? Oh shit. No! We were there! We were there! Jeez.
What? That didn't go through?
Fucking bitches!
I can't.
Fuck!
Steve, come back!
What the fuck? Who let the balloons be full of fucking lead? Who runs this establishment? Let me free! I can't get over it. I'm glad the game made them optional, but they also made them not optional in the sense that you have to play them to get coins, which you need because they make your guns better. The running guns are all optional, and they're just there if you really want to break through the boss fights, or if you really need coins. I don't mind that they're there, I'm sure some people like them a lot, and good for you, but I'll stick to the boss fights. Speaking of, let's dive into them. I'll be going through every single boss because I believe they all deserve their own moment in the spotlight. Well, most of them. But we'll get to that. Also, I recently played the game again with my friend Bigelow and my friend Faisal, so I'll put some clips of that in where they fit. The Root Pack. The easiest boss in the game, the boss that is supposed to make you go, oh, this game isn't that hard. It teaches you simple mechanics like jumping over things, dodging, and shooting projectiles, and overall, it's just a nice beginner to the game. Also, if you don't shoot the onion, he just leaves. Leaves a radish with a vengeance in his wake. Oh my god, have you seen this guy move?
Oh!
He fucking spat in your face. You were just taking those.
Hey,
No!
You gotta pick me up.
Bro! What's happening?
Yo, they're cheating!
No! No!
I can't move.
Yo.
I'm paralyzed, Steve.
You're paralyzed from the
potato
waist
broke
down.
my spine.
Wait, Goopy Legrande. This funny slime boss will teach you about the mechanics of dodging and crouching, while also showing off directional shooting. When I first played the game, not knowing you can crouch under almost everything he does, this boss proved to be pretty difficult to me. But by the end of it, I had learned his weaknesses and could use them to my advantage in later battles. All bosses in this game build on the last, and I feel Goopy Legrande is a great starting boss for the player.
Hey, Steve, you gotta parry me.
I don't know what you want from me.
What?
Yeah, you can duck under that. Oh wait, watch. Mega Cum Blast!
Oh. Pain. Pain.
Pain.
I can't move.
Mugman, snap out of it.
Paralyze me.
Ribby and Croaks. This funny frog duo will prove to be an immense challenge when you start the game. I remember spending several attempts on the slot machine stage because I just couldn't manage to have the correct hand-eye coordination to land on the moving green platforms. But after several attempts, I became a master at shooting while parkouring, a skill that is seen again in levels such as the bee and the dragon boss. This boss, like many bosses in the first world, is just meant to beat the skill into you through trial and error, and by God, does it work.
Oh!
No. I'm insane! Oh, fuck! You son of a bitch.
Brother. Kill him with fire!
Oh, we don't get this
Hey,
first
Steve,
try.
I ran into him.
No, I can't. Why'd you walk into him?
He was talking slow. Why is gonna be a fan? He's cheating.
Uh-oh.
Jump.
Hildeberg. Hildeberg is hell on earth for new players. Not only are you fighting a completely new boss with new mechanics and fight styles, but the entire gameplay changes entirely. Plane levels are some of my least favorite in the game. They're not necessarily bad, but I just don't find them nearly as fun as the fully customizable land character. This plane boss in particular sucks a big fat one, because you don't have the alternate bonfire, which as many of you know is the key to doing mass amounts of damage in airplane levels. Overall, a very cool looking final stage, and a very mediocre boss fight. Okay. She coming back? She's a bull now? She's gonna do a dash attack forward. Watch out. Fuck. It's like,
You sure?
Stop dying. No! I died off screen.
Oh, she's the moon.
Yeah.
Oh. Yo, I just gotta.
Yeah. Because clawing, I hate clawing the controller. Yeah, you just wanted to change it to Dutch real quick? Yeah. I fucking suck at this game, bro!
He sniped you, homie.
Pick a lot.
Oh, dude.
Fuck, okay. What? Which one's restart?
Opciones.
We're never gonna be able to get out of this. Oh shit. What the fuck? They're tracking?
Parry him.
How?
Can't parry him.
You shoot and nuked? Oh, moon? We're on moon and we're both together. Okay, this is good. Aliens? Alien?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're alive?
She's
Aliens?
kinda
Watch out for
cheating.
aliens?
She's kind of cheating.
Nuking? Nuking?
You're cheating!
Okay, I nuked. She should just die? come on. I nuked you. Please just die.
Parry?
Fuck.
Parry that star?
Yes!
Easiest game of my life.
Cagney Carnation. Cagney Carnation is the first baby step into the real men bosses. This level just throws everything at you, and forces the player to use everything they learned from the earlier bosses. This boss isn't the hardest thing in the world, mostly due to the fact that by this point in the game you should be fairly familiar with the game's mechanics. Overall though, the only reason most people remember and reminisce over this boss is for the banging music. Shout out to Christopher Madigan, the game's composer, but we'll get to him later.
Oh,
I forgot how much
Bully?
dumb shit is on this level. And then you have that floating guy who's just an asshole. You're right. Feeding. Okay, you just can't die
I just
off
found it.
screen. Hey!
wow.
Why was that one so much easier? What's this guy say? Oh, I forgot.
What does he say, Steve?
I don't know,
Are
man.
you fighting King Dice?
No, we just have to talk to him and be like, yo, boy, can we pass? Or,
Oh, I
or
didn't know
whatever
you were
that
bilingual.
says.
I didn't know he was bilingual.
That's so cool, King Dice. How cultured of you.
Oh, oh. Good one, Kettle. On game, watch it. Oh!
Baroness von Bonbon. Her whole gimmick is okay. I like the variety of different mini-bosses you can fight off in the start, although it does add a random factor where some are easier than others, which can be a pain in something like a speedrun. Her other stages are okay. She used funny cake monster to kill you. You run from it. You know, there's nothing more to it. It's not a hard boss, well, if you have the roundabout shot. If you only have a basic shot for this boss, then yes, it will probably be difficult for you. This entire aisle is based around this principle of teaching the player to use different shot types for better results in boss battles. Using the roundabout for Von Bonbon, using the lobber for the dragon, using the spread shot on Beppy the clown. I might not like this boss individually, but it makes sense in a gameplay aspect, and is honestly really well designed by the developers.
Parry the beam! Hey, parry me.
Wait, where am I? I thought I died. I was hiding on the left side of the screen. Did you just reset the entire game?
It's Korean! Uh-oh. This looks so ominous.
This head's annoying as shit, bro. How do you have a candy head of yourself?
There we go. When the hell did you parry me?
I kind of just clicked A by accident, and then it worked. Alright, yeah, fuck that. I hate you. Teabag. Jimmy the Great. Jimmy might be great, but his boss battle is subpar at best. I think every stage of this boss fight is great, I really do, except for the one indoor spit. But the rest of the fight really works. The stages seem to fit really well into the fight, and don't really seem too out of place. As for the fight itself, it's okay. Once again, it's a plane fight, and we know how I feel about those, but this time you have bombs, which adds a little bit of spice to the dull plane gameplay. But overall, I think Jimmy's boss battle is just alright at best. Easy. Thank God.
Let's go. Finally.
Fuck you, Jimmy. Beppy the Clown. He may be one of the more forgettable bosses in the game, but he is far from the worst. Beppy's boss fight is honestly pretty fun. The carnival aesthetic is really enjoyable, and if you have the spread shot, it's pretty easy, except for those damn penguins. Beppy is one of the more mediocre bosses in this game, not too great, not too bad, that is, gameplay-wise. I argue, though, that the music from this level, titled Carnival Kerfuffle, is the best song in the entire Cuphead soundtrack. This song alone is the only reason I still remember this guy exists, and I can always enjoy this boss no matter how terribly annoying it may be, because of its banging music.
Oh, I thought I was gonna parry it, but I guess I didn't.
Oh my God, silly penguins. Then they were fucking floored by a train. Just kill him. Fucking die. Yeah, oh my God. Wally Warbles. Oh look, it's another air boss. Yay. I'm not gonna lie, the further I go down this list, the more I have terrible memories and begin resenting them. Wally Warbles is an air boss. The stages of this boss make no sense, and feel kind of uninspired to be honest. It goes from bird in birdhouse, to screaming bird in birdhouse, to a child bird with floating eggs, to the first bird again, but this time being transported to a hospital. I'm going to keep it real, the only enjoyable part of this boss battle is the final stage, because you're just able to drop bombs on Wally Warble's helpless ass. Jesus,
Oh my
guy.
god. He just not die.
Me explain to my teacher where the homework went.
Where did that go from?
Sorry, I'm stressed. We were pelting you with fucking ammunition! Fucking die!
Finally, thank God.
This part should be relatively easy, because it's just throw bomb on top of dead body. And then, oh, and then you have to... You fucking pill capped me, bro! There we go, yeah.
Kind of straight on the forehead. Why are they cooking them?
They gotta eat them.
They gotta eat what?
Grim Matchstick. The dragon is not as hard as everyone makes him out to be. Well, sort of. This boss really puts your platforming skills to use, making you parkour forwards and backwards the entire time, keeping you moving the entire fight. All of this boss's stages make complete sense to me. I don't think this boss deserves the rap it gets for being so hard it's not fun. Because honestly, the only stage that really kind of annoys me is stage 2. Because of those goddamn fire spirit looking ass motherfuckers. Staying alive. Fuck! Why? Why would you jump to that one? Fire spirits is the hard part. The first part's medium. This is the easy.
What the hell?
Until that happens. See, you almost had it. Bro, where's my Cuphead callouts?
Yo, fireball?
Fireball? Tail mid.
Fireball?
Tail mid. Full HP.
Switching phase. I've got ult.
Ulting. JK.
Ulting.
That was actually cute ult. Actually, about to ult. You ulted? Ulting as well? Double ult?
Double damage? Oh my god.
It's not that hard, told you.
The hard part was him dying. He just wouldn't die.
He does have a lot more health than I remember on that final stage. Rumor Honeybottoms. The bee boss is another boss many people have warned me as a difficult boss during my playthrough. The bee is genuinely just not that hard. It once again has platforming while shooting, similar to the dragon, which might be why a lot of players said these bosses were difficult. The bee boss is still a very memorable fight for anyone that plays the game, and will probably take you enough tries that you'll never forget it. Captain Briny Beard. I remember barely anything about this boss, except that in the final stage you fight the boat. This boss, like many others on Aisle 3, seems to feel very lackluster and forgettable compared to the rest. It's not a hard boss, so you won't remember the struggle. It's not a cool boss, so you won't remember the design or aesthetic. It's just a forgettable boss that I will probably forget about after making this video. Calamaria. Calamaria, the boss that made so many players go awooga. This boss is honestly pretty memorable for being an annoying little bitch. Once again, it's a plane level, and we know how I feel about that. Secondly, the Medusa Stage on this level, where you get turned into stone in a tight corridor where you can easily bump into a wall, is not fun. Whenever I think of this level, I can only remember that final stage, and it's always then followed by me never touching it ever again. Dr. Call's Robot. Oh god. Don't even get me started on this boss. This is by far the most difficult boss in the entire game. Not only is it an airplane level, so you can't use power-ups and special shots to help you win, but the boss is only damageable in certain areas, and you are bombarded by a constant stream of enemies, a giant laser, and more. Then, once you've finally gotten through that shithole of a start, you are forced to damage his floating head, which flies around the screen. During this stage, you're attacked by heat-seeking missiles that blow up a quarter of the stage, and to make matters worse, managing to even hit the head is a difficult feat on its own, because it's an airplane level, so aiming in any direction that isn't forwards or down at an angle is impossible. Then, once you've escaped hell, you're dragged back down even deeper to fight the Doctor himself, who is a diamond that spawns constant projectiles while also having electrified walls that corner you, and during the entire fight, you're supposed to try to line up a shot to damage him. This boss is by far one of, if not the hardest boss in the entire game. I have vivid memories of almost having a mental breakdown my first time challenging him. But that feeling I got after beating him was immediately forgotten, because all I can remember is my sorrow. Werner Werman. Haha, funny rat. Then funny rat turned into cat. Yeah, this boss is pretty easy and mostly forgettable. The end. Sally stage play. Sally is all right, I guess. It's nothing crazy. It's just an actor on a stage that you fight. Nothing too special or mystical about that. I don't remember this boss being all too hard either. Honestly, pretty forgettable. Phantom Express. The Phantom Express is one of the best levels in Cuphead in my opinion. The atmosphere of the fight is amazing, the stages are fun, the boss isn't too challenging that you'll be pulling your hair out, but also not easy enough where it's forgettable. The cart mechanic of this level is also very unique and a fun mechanic in my opinion. Overall, I think the Phantom Express is one of the best bosses in the entire game. King Dice. What isn't there to say about King Dice? King Dice is probably one of my favorite characters in gaming history. His dapper look, his design, his gimmick, his boss fight, everything about it is so well done. The ability to master the timing on the rolls of the dice, the extra lives you can earn, the smug look he gives you after you hit the dice, the troll start over sign at the end, it all was just so much fun, and even though it still has the traditional bosses, it is a nice breath of fresh air to some of the other bosses we've seen. This one boss fight contains up to 10 individual boss battles in it, all with their own unique attacks and looks all based around the casino aesthetic. Some of the bosses are better than others, but they are all decently enjoyable for the most part. The Cymbal Monkey, Mr. Chimes, is my favorite. The Devil. I haven't been truthful with all of you, and it's time to come clean. I actually haven't beat all of Cuphead legit. During my original playthrough of Cuphead, I abused a glitch in the game in order to beat the devil off of stage 1. I have never beat the devil. Until today. I'm going to right my wrongs, clear my conscience, and go back to my original save to finally beat the devil once and for all. For real this time. If you didn't know, I'm actually kind of a god gamer at this game.
You just gotta press the buttons in the right order, you know?
I beat him.
Oh.
Easy done. Speed
I was gonna
run
say, I
check.
think you pressed the wrong button.
Let's go. When you
Probably 'cause
beat
you
it,
pressed double.
when you beat it in the devil ending, it plays the theme song backwards. That's so sick. Huh? Oh, but I didn't like shotgun. Fuck! What do you want from me? Fuck. What? No! Fuck, he was right there! No, I went for the ability because I was like, maybe the abilities will make me invincible. No, why was he there? This is fucking bullshit! This fucking fire bullshit, bro. That shit sucks. Well, I throw one at that side! Why are we still on stage 1, motherfucker? There we go. Fuck, what? Oh my god, why is that one so much faster? Why that one take so long? Like the best shots types for this level. Dude, why is it so long? Dude, it's so long. It's so long. Bro, why on the second one does he take like a fucking detour with his arms to the goddamn next door 7-Eleven, but on the other ones, he just fucking goes to me? What? What? I changed to the right. Why? Why another round of spiders? I have gotten 5 cards. I've gone to the second stage with like 4 before. Why do I have more than 5 cards? No, the left. You have to go with the one left. I spawned on the fire. How was I supposed to know I was going to rotate to the left? I wasn't, because fucking RG! Oh, this is a fun part of the boss. I like the part where I can't hit him fucking 5 minutes straight! Why? I am at the far right of the screen, shooting to the right where you spawn. I have a guy on my left, pushing me the farthest I can to that side of the screen, and you're so... Oh my fucking god. This game's so bad. Who developed this? That's so awesome. Well, I clapped it! What? Why does my dash go nowhere? Fucking hell, even with it gone, it's still so fucking difficult! Oh, one heart in a dream.
That is dumb. I understand it's a running gun, but like, bro, where's the running?
Where's the gunning, bro?
Where's the gun?
Die, you son of a bitch! Yes! One health in a dream! I was gonna say go to hell, but you're already there, you bitch! Fuck you! I can sleep peacefully.
Hey, yo, Steve, you gotta be.
Fuck you, Faisal. Shut the fuck up. Well, that sucked. Overall, I think the Devil is a great final boss to the game. He's definitely no Dr. Call's robot, but he also isn't a pushover. It took me 30 minutes total for me to be able to beat the Devil, with all my previous game knowledge. He beats you down, makes you really hate him, so that when you finally prove yourself victorious, it really does feel like you beat the game. Whew, that's all of them, and I can finally rate the game on its gameplay. This game has clearly had a lot of its heart and soul poured into making its gameplay the best it can really be, and it shows, for the most part. A lot of the bosses I will always remember, but some I'll probably forget in a week or two. But with all parts of the gameplay combined, I would have to rate Cuphead's gameplay a solid 8 out of 10. I found myself for the majority of the game having a lot of fun, but things like the run and gun levels, lack of useful charms, and some lackluster bosses brought the score down to where it sits now. The art style of this game is one of the main reasons it reached such a mainstream presence and received such high praise, and for good reason. Every single animation in this game is painstakingly hand-drawn by the artist, Chad Moldenhauer, and processed into the game. This helps give the game its rubber hose animation style that the producers so badly wanted it to have. It really shines through in every aspect of the game, and is probably the most unique thing about the game. From Cuphead to Mugman to the designs of some of the bosses, the art style really is the strongest aspect of the game. The art style deserves all the praise it gets, and this video will keep the praise going. Cuphead's art style gets a 9.5 out of 10 from me. As you've heard throughout this video, the music in this game is some of the best in any game franchise. This music is up there with some of the likes of Doom and PvZ for its music. The composer, Christopher Madigan, did an absolutely amazing job with the soundtrack. This is the kind of music that I could find myself listening to even outside of the game. It's just that good. And don't even get me started on the Barbershop Quartet song. But we'll get to that later. Overall though, the music in this game is great and there isn't enough nice things I could say about it. Cuphead's music gets a 9.5 out of 10 from me. Cuphead, like most story games, are not exactly built on replayability, but Cuphead does have a decent bit of replayability to it. Firstly, if you just beat the game, your almost immediate reaction will probably be to replay Aisle 1 to see how much you've improved on. On my first playthrough, I was able to flawlessly beat every boss on Aisle 1 without losing once. I felt like a god. But there's more than just that. Whenever you beat a boss for the first time, you unlock expert difficulty in the level. So, for those of you who want an even greater challenge, expert difficulty 100% run is waiting for you. You can also go back and get all the coins you may or may not have gotten, so you can finally earn all the items in the store. But if you're anything like me, the last thing you want to do is play another run and gun. So, even though Studio MDHR made a slight effort to add replay value to the game, it's pretty lackluster, understandably. It is a story game, to be fair. Cuphead's replayability gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Cuphead is clearly not supposed to be an in-depth story. It has a simple enough story that makes sense and explains why the player is doing what they're doing. It's nothing special, but also isn't terrible. Cuphead's story gets its job done and nothing more. And for that reason, I will have to give Cuphead's story a 7 out of 10. After much talk and some math, we have the final results. My final score for Cuphead as a contender for Videogame Perfection is a solid 7.8 out of 10. Obviously, the game took a couple large hits in replayability and story, but these are the definite 5 categories I'll be judging all games on. and I think Cuphead has an impressive score overall, all things considered. We'll just have to see how it matches up against the next game I review. Wonder what that'll be. Thanks for watching. If you want to follow me in my journey to finding video game perfection, then please consider liking or subscribing. Thanks!
It's nice to rest your eyes and maybe go outside. Grab a book and get some air. So what are you waiting for? Why not take a quick break? Tune the radio. There's chores to do, there's leaves to rake. Strum the old banjo. You can practice your Lindy Hop. And maybe later sing with your barbershop. Why not take a little quick break and come back for more? Or then come back for more. Or please come back for more.
Holy shit, I'm gonna have to edit all this. The recording is 27 minutes long, bro. What the fuck?